Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 423. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
January 28th.
Sorry, y'all.
No, January 18th.
Man, Leslie's making it can't be the 28th because I have nothing accomplished this month.
Yeah, I still don't have nearly as much accomplished as I would like to, but
it'll happen.
I've been on call this week, and Laura has been ill.
With a leg.
Yeah,
you can blame my children. I do.
It's okay. People get
fine.
sick. It's allowed.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Speaking of which, sorry, I might be coughing a little bit, so if you have earbuds...
It's going to be a bad day for you. That's
hopefully not.
That's
very sad.
Sorry, I'm like...
Detangling?
Yes.
Did we already do our full intro? It's episode 423.
Yes, we did that. I got the date wrong.
That's right. Hey, I'm just going to go first.
Please,
while you...
thank you.
I'm going to do all my stuff at once. Because I only have 3 items because I've been sick and not feeling like crafting. So I've been laying in bed and sleeping and snuggling with my animals a whole lot. And I had 3 ball games in the past week as well. I had a soccer game. My kids were in the finals for the county. And unfortunately, they lost. And it was very heartbreaking. And that was out in the rain Friday night. And then all Saturday, we had a basketball game sequence that took like 6 hours at my school. And then Monday night, we had basketball again. But guess what? There's only one more basketball game. And then basketball's over.
And then is duty over for you?
Yes, everything's over. Unless, yeah, everything's over, basically. Except for I have a book fair coming. That's a whole nother story. I'm knitting on a pair of socks because y'all don't care about my life. And I don't blame you. I'm not certain I care about my life.
It's not like they watch this show because they care about you.
These are going to be toe-up socks using the Wendy Johnson toe-up socks with a gusset heel. They are Desert Vista Dye Works in the Bed Knobs and Broomsticks colorway. Hey, I want a skein of...
I saw.
So, Desert Vista... And that's what this came from. Desert Vista Dye Works every month has a inspiration colorway contest. And I originally won this in that contest. And there's like a running joke between Leslie and I that I will never have less than 12 skeins of Desert Vista Dye Works in my life. 13, really. So once these are out, I'm getting another skein because I won another naming contest. So I'm going to be back up at 13.
Yeah.
Yay!
So if yours gets if your inspiration photo gets picked,
you get
the
yarn.
One skein of the yarn that she produces.
Yeah, inspired by it. So Desert Vista Dye Works. This is the Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, which is a great book and also a movie starring Angela Lansbury. It was one of my favorites growing up. It's an interesting fictionalized fantasy version of World War II. So, I think it's World War II. It might be World War I.
I've never seen it or read it.
I think it's 2. Because they're sending the children to the country because London's being bombed. And I know that happened in World War II, but I don't know if it happened in World War I as well.
I'm a terrible human. I really don't know that much history.
But I'll be interested in people who do know telling me the correct answer. So that's how we learn. These are being knit on size 0 needles. I'm using Addy sock rockets. And I'm just zipping around. I actually knit during one of the ball games because 7th grade girls, spoiler, average score is 10 points per team. So, in an hour, I got like a whole stripe done.
Do they like foul a lot, or are they just slow,
they get a lot of fouls, but ball movement is not there.
Oh, okay.
Because they're just
not
learning.
Quite LeBron.
No, it's not quite anything. So, sometimes it's like bowling and rugby combined.
You know what? I can't talk smack. I'm going to share one of my pivotal, most embarrassing moments in my life. I'm going to take over your segment. No, that's fine.
I'm done. Like, this is done. That's all I have on the needles. Continue.
I was in 7th grade. PE was a required thing. And
yeah, it is.
Here in Mississippi.
It is everywhere.
At least where we were in Mississippi. there was no like changing for PE.
We got changed for PE.
The clothes that you were wearing were the clothes that you were wearing.
Oh, that's super.
So depending
cool.
on like what time of day you had PE, it could get ugly. But of course, it wasn't like super hardcore. I was only in 7th grade, but
yeah,
like the end of semester like tests, fitness test. Most of it was relatively simple. X number of laps around the court, some sit-ups, stuff like that. But the last step was to make a basket in the basket. The
it's called a hoop.
Okay, yeah, that thing.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take?
I never made one.
Oh, you just stood there?
I tried for like, I don't know, it felt like an hour, but it probably was like 3 or 4 minutes, yeah. And I ended up just leaving crying because I couldn't make it. Because I'm, as an adult, if I'm wearing good shoes, 5'4", and those things were high school height, they're not quite NBA height, but for me, they might as well have been,
I don't think there's a height difference.
I
think they're all regulation height.
I don't know. It was very stressful for me.
I bet. I'm sorry that you
I don't know that
stress.
I've ever made a basket in the hoop. Ever.
We're totally gonna change that.
Except for like at the arcade where you
no, we're totally gonna change
6 feet away.
I'm gonna have you come up to work one day and we're gonna change that.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's the same court too. No, we're gonna change this.
I don't even know how we got on that. Oh, we were talking about 7th graders.
We're totally going to change this. Next time you have your Friday off from on-call. I mean, you might have 400 6th graders during
That'll motivate me.
But I think we can totally change this.
A little fat short lady who can't put the ball in the hoop. I won't get heckled at all.
No, you can totally do this.
You want to talk about your finished stuff real quick? Sure. This is terrible because it's been a week and a half since we recorded and neither one of us really has much to show.
I'm wearing one of my finished objects. So cute. This is the Oktoberfest hat. I'm not taking it off because I did not fix my hair after I napped. So it is like a thermal pattern. And I knit it out of hand spun, and it's super slouchy. Can you see?
Yeah, it's very gorgeous.
So it's good for those bad hair days. It also is slipping back on my head a little bit.
It almost looks intentionally self-striping.
Yeah, I have no idea how this yarn was spun, because when I pulled it out, it had no tags.
Like you do.
And I think it's Southern Cross fiber, but I'm not certain. David said it looked like his colors. Yeah. So, and I think that's pretty accurate. This is my new sleeping hat. It's going to hang out by my bed because at night I let my house get down to 55 degrees. While I'm at work, it's at 55 degrees too.
Both of her animals have lots of insulation.
Yeah, they do. And they snuggle if they get colds or just lay on blankets. Neither one will go under blankets, but they'll just chill on top of them.
Neelix will go under blankets. I saw another Great Pyrenees today.
Did you?
I went to Petco to get my Neelix, one of our dogs. His collar is the same one he's had for like 7 or 8 years, and it's scratched so much you can barely read anything on it. So I went to Petco and got one of their little
printed things.
Yeah.
But you could actually embroider on his collar, like his name and number.
Yeah. Well, he's microchipped and all that too.
Yeah, Pearl is too, but still, like
another. But Neelix would go up to anybody. He's not afraid of people, so
yeah. Pearl won't go up to. Well, I don't know. She might. You'd have to catch her.
She might.
You'd have to catch her because she'd be chasing your cats and anything else around that's there. So that's the first finished object. So this hat, and it's slouchy. It was 9 inches long before you started doing the decreases, and the decreases were every 3rd row for a long time. So if you have like a lot of hair, this would be a good choice for sure. And it was a free pattern on Ravelry, and that's called the Oktoberfest hat. And I knit it on size 4 needles. Maybe 3s for the ribbing, went up to 4s for the body. I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. And then I have another hand spun finished object that's due in a month. I'm so proud of myself. I'm using up hand spun. This is recent hand spun, y'all. If you've been watching the show for the last, I spun this in November.
It's gorgeous.
So it's pretty recent. This was the Into the World Superwash Corridale. So it's not, but I don't feel like it's scratchy at all. It's not merino soft, but it's not like...
No, it's perfect. I mean, I wouldn't put it on as a next to skin, like a first layer, but...
Well, for me it'd be fine.
Well,
but
but
for a baby, maybe not. So this is the Snug Bug pattern. It's a Tanya Hillard pattern. I think that's her name. And it's free on Ravelry. It looks like a lot like the baby vertebrae.
Mm-hmm. It's not quite as, like, angular, like, bulbous.
Yeah, and it's not quite as long. But it's going to be a cute little layering piece. This is the newborn size. It used around 180 yards of hand spun, thick and thin at some points, worsted weight, chunky at some points too. Sometimes a lot lighter than that because it's thick and thin, unintentionally. Because spinning thick for me is always a little bit of a challenge, but I think Sadie will like it. So this is going to Sadie and Linus. And this is the last thing for our box for them, I think.
Yep.
So Les was kind and held up shipping the box until, is he out of the hospital yet?
He wasn't yesterday. He was just having some issues getting enough food and keeping it down, which happens sometimes. And he's, in great care.
Being a baby is rough, yo.
Yeah, so he'd been improving greatly. They hadn't released him yet as of yesterday.
Well, thank you for the update. So that's it for me. So 2 finished objects. This will be a class for House Cup, and that was Quidditch. So I got like 25 points off of it.
And no spinning this week. No
spinning. I have been spinning. I posted a picture on Instagram of me spinning. I'm just going to sit like this because it's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a picture, but nothing like 5 to 10 minutes a day, nothing consistent enough. I do owe one more skein of hand spun to the self-striping group from last month. So I haven't forgotten about y'all. It's on the wheel, but the first half isn't even done yet. But hopefully this weekend. I have Monday off, and so does Leslie. So I foresee a lot of spinning.
Yeah,
plus
craft binging.
I got the new Acreworks shocked high-speed bobbin to test. So I'm going to need to spin on that. I'm going to steal Leslie's flat iron this weekend and switch it over to double drive and try it on there. So, and I've never really spun on the flat iron, so that's going to be fun too.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I might spin a Joanna Spring Knit Spin Farm bat on it.
That's good, yeah, because it'll give you enough to get a taste of how it...
And I'll do it on the wooden. I have a high-speed wooden, and then also will be high-speed, so I can really compare the two.
I have a couple of high-speed... Well, if you need them. But
okay. Well, that's good to know,
I don't know if I've ever used them. I got them from Loopy U, but...
I use high speed when I can't find any other bobbins. So.
Legit.
Yeah. But they're there. It's just a little bit different, a little bit lighter usually. But yeah, that's it for me. That's all I got. But you have knitting.
I do.
That you were knitting on, and you're knitting in the round.
Not really.
Oh.
That's kind of a lie.
Well, you're making it work.
I'm on circular needles, but...
Okay. I'm gonna sit back because
it's intarsia in the round, but...
It's back and forth.
Yeah, it's essentially you're knitting flat, because, it's stockinette. One row you're knitting, one row you're purling.
Oh.
So, okay, so this...
Are you getting gutters?
I don't know. I'll hold it up and you can look and tell me.
Okay. Because I know sometimes that's a concern for you.
Oh, no. Not if I'm knitting. I'm doing it backwards like I usually do.
Okay.
So.
Not purling.
No. So this
that was a misnomer.
Wrought iron. And it's by Anna Johanna. And I'm sort of doing an informal knit along with Ashley, one of the girls in our group. One of the ladies in our group.
That Ash girl?
Yep. And these are my colors. So... This one is Seascape, and this one is Gray Day, and these are Knitter's Nightmare colors, and she's not dying, at least.
They match what you're wearing, too.
Yeah. My hat matches it even more. But, so, these are the 2 colors that I'm using, and this is an intarsia in the round is how it's advertised, but I just really like the finished product, so I don't really care. So this...
You're making good progress on that. This is only week 2, right?
Yeah, I think so. This is top down, and you switch colors right here on this side, and then you switch from the gray to the green, you go across, you do a special little yarn over thing, and then you come back and you switch colors again, and you go around, and then back. And then around, and then back. You can't truly go in the round, because if you did, you pick it up here, and you go across.
Of ends to weave in.
Yeah, you could. you go across, but then you'd have to drop it. So when you came back around, it
I
would
wonder
be
if you
waiting
could
for you.
kind of short. Well, I mean, basically what you're doing is short rowing, kind of, sort of.
It's really just more like flat knitting.
Yeah.
So it has a pretty lace panel that, lace never looks pretty until it's been blocked out, but
That is really pretty, though. And you used a provisional cast on up at the...
Right, and so it calls for a provisional cast on up at the shoulders, because you knit down one side, down the other side, and then you pick up and create the back. So I used Judy's Magic cast on, which I used anytime I can for a provisional cast on. You do a little bit of shoulder shaping in the back so that it sits nicely across the shoulders.
So when you're done with this one, you're going to knit one for me, right?
It depends. So Ashley is, she's the person I'm doing a knit along with. She's doing hers all in one color.
Yeah.
Which is really smart, actually, because A, you can go in the round.
Yeah.
And knit. But also, she can do a pop of color by just wearing a different colored tank underneath it. Yeah. So I might do one in the round at some point, like in a solid color, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, see how it fits first.
Yeah. So, I mean, gauge wise, just holding it up, aside from what it's scrunched up because the needle's small, but
it seems
like it should fit.
And you can always block the lace larger if you need more.
And it, like I said, this is where the edges are joined. And it looks fine.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stitches look slightly bigger there, but I think once it gets blocked, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you can.
And
you can always fiddle with it by pulling on the legs of those stitches, too.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I think it looks pretty. I'm happy with it so far. It's a new technique, and that was something I wanted to do in 2019, is a couple of new techniques. So, that fit the bill.
Cool. Very cool. You have a finished object though, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. We're also matching. Well, I'm not matching in any way today. I had polka dot shoes on earlier, which you did not see.
I did not.
But I put on real socks. I have new polka dot rose gold Toms that I wore to work today. And I'm like embarrassing things that I did. The tag was still in the bottom of the shoe. I wore it there until kids spilled pencil sharpener all over my floor, and then I was like, man, I feel like there's pencil sharpenings in my shoe. Nope, it was the tag. So that came out. It was like the sticker was wearing off the tag, and that's what was causing that feeling.
This is the off-grid.
That's cute.
Hat. It's a plucky pattern.
Yeah.
And this is some yarn from Craftsy. It was their Cloudborn.
Hand-dyed by Lorna's Laces.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was on sale for like $6 a skein, so I got some different colors to try it out.
Did you like it?
It's fun. It's a nice round, kind of bouncy merino. So
yeah.
Anyhow, this is for my sister-in-law.
She'll like that.
And I think I'm going to do a sock head as well, and then that might be it for.
You could do this.
The moment.
Okay. It's a slouchy. It's a lot of purling.
Yeah. I already get my money's worth of purling out of this.
Yeah. Although sockhead, you have to. There's a what's the name of that hat? It's got another fall name that's out of like a DK weight. That's similar in shape to sockhead.
I'm gonna be able to look for that.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, because sockhead is I like it, but it is fingering weight.
Let me pull out my phone. Not to be rude with y'all, but it's in my projects page.
It would take a little bit.
So I know that it is. You keep talking. Was there anything else that you did?
No, I've been on call this week, so sleep has been the highest priority. When I got it, I put in my timesheet yesterday, and by 10 a.m. yesterday.
Sugar Maple. That's the name of that.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to search my stuff and find it for you.
By 9 a.m. yesterday was Thursday, I had already worked 58 hours for starting, on call from Saturday up until early Thursday. So I just grabbed what sleep I could. I didn't really knit a whole lot. Yeah, that's cute.
That's out of some old hands. Y'all, if you've been watching the show for a while, probably remember that.
Laura and I were trying to find out, or before the show started, we wasted like half an hour
trying to figure out when our friendiversary is.
Yeah. we know it was 2007 sometime because it was before Ravelry started, but not a long time before. Yeah. Because I feel like after I met Laura a couple of times, she told me about Ravelry, but it was still like you signed up and you waited 3 weeks.
Yeah, the beta testing.
To get an invite, yeah.
I like that. That's the actual... It's called Sugar Maple Hat, and it's free on Ravelry. I've knitted a couple... Well, at least once. At least once, because it's in my projects once. But I feel like I've knit it more than once.
A Marigold Gin peanut butter fudge that would be good in that. Like a real pretty peanut buttery fudgy color, like brownish. Anyway, let's see. That's it for me. Neither of us has any spinning.
But we do have a book to review, and we're going to review this book a little bit differently because it was originally published on Ravelry as secret patterns. How do we want to call it? Mystery patterns. And this is The Shawl Society by Helen Stewart. She released a book and sent us an advanced reader copy of the book. So the copy that we have is not the finished book. So it's going to look a little different if we pull it up than what you guys would see. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the shawls on Rav, which is nice because we can make them super big without sharing any of the secret recipe type stuff. And we can discuss them and then talk about some other things that you would see in the book. So this book is retailing for £15 right now in the United States. That is around $20.10. There are 6 patterns included in it. And of course, if you live in Europe, you would pay VAT on that as well. But you guys are probably, unfortunately, used to that. So the first pattern is the amulet shawl. I find a lot of these shawls would be great for stash busting. This one comes in both a medium and a large. You can see it in multiple colors, and that's how it is in the book. This is that blue and gray is, I think, the color that's actually featured in the book.
Yeah.
The large is 70 by 26. The medium is 60 by 20. And one thing that I like about Helen's stuff is she gives you a check-off sheet. So this book is primarily charted. And then she also has directions. This pattern has beads, so there's also a nice page on how to apply beads to knitting. She also in the book includes yarn choices in the back, like how to choose yarn for each patterns. And overall, I feel like it would be a great stash busting. One thing that's nice about this, because these patterns were originally released on Ravelry, is you can buy them individually if you'd like. So if there's just one or two that you like. But you can also see different color combinations that people have used. Another thing that's mentioned in the back of the book is how to block shawls. There's a whole 2-page spread on that as well. So that's amulet. Are we going to say Asana?
Asana.
So Asana is a lace weight shawl. It also has beads, it looks like. Yep.
The option for beads.
At least the option for beads. There's one color of it. So it's a single color. It's also sized in a medium and large. There is a variety of weights used in this book. One thing to know is that Helen models all the shawls in her book, so you're just going to see them on her, but if you click on Ravelry, you'll see them on a bunch of different people, a bunch of different sizes.
400 projects in this one.
So there's a lot of, well, when people actually post pictures on themselves.
Yeah.
You know. Sometimes that's hard, like trying to take a picture. Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Good job, Kim Bell. That one's really pretty.
Yeah. This one's very delicate looking, and they've added the beads here in the center of the leaf.
Pretty bead choice.
Yeah.
So that is the Asana.
Aurora,
which is out of a fingering weight.
And she uses a gradient set.
Yes, and she tells you in the book how she lays out the gradient set. So she goes from lightest to darkest and kind of tracks it through that. And this says this one is not charted. And I like that too, where you can see exactly, Helen makes it super clear on the Ravelry pages, like if it's charted or written. And I know some people have issues reading charts. and can only use written directions, so that's a nice touch as well. That one's pretty.
Yeah, and it looks like it's slip stitches, so even though it looks like color work, it's not.
That would be really pretty in one of the gradients from Fiber Optic. One of her new unified gradients. Oh, look at that! Yeah. That is a great picture.
Yeah, I love when people are happy showing their knits.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be perfect, just be happy.
For me, when it's someone else taking the pictures, I'm always making crazy faces, I feel like.
This is a good neutral
one. Oh, yeah.
So, that's Aurora. Whoops. Oh. I clicked it again. I'm just so happy about it.
Then there's the quill shawl. I think this is my personal favorite.
It's a DK weight.
It is a DK weight, and I keep buying single skeins of DK weight from like Two Guys and Leading Men and other people, Amy Florence. So I feel like I could use some here for sure. So this would be perfect stash busting for me. And also, everything has the percentage. This one has lace, but also, or charts, but also line by line directions. It does come in, is this a 2-size one? I feel like it might be.
One size.
Okay, this is a 1-size one.
I think there's only two in this book that are one size. There's this one and the bulky one.
I love that, like, grello color scheme. That's the one in the book.
Yeah.
It's really, really pretty.
And this one's relatively popular as well, with 398 different
projects.
people. And all these were mystery knit-alongs.
Yep.
So, you know, you get some crazy color combinations that, you know, sometimes you may not think that they'll turn out well, but they do.
They look gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a great color
combo. I love that one.
So, yeah.
Oh, red, white, and black is always one that I adore.
This is the other that's one size.
Sonder. Yeah, I love this. It's out of a bulky. I think, and Tundra is such a gorgeous yarn. I've used that in a hat before. I think this would be perfect for hand spun. Like, I saw this and immediately thought, this needs to be a hand spun shawl for me. 360 yards, so maybe, you know, 8 ounces spun up, 3-ply. Would look gorgeous. My eyelets would be a little bit smaller in a 3-ply, but it would be super pretty. And it looks like one that you could probably keep going if you wanted a little bit of a larger shawl.
Yeah, it looks like one that's easy to add on to.
Or if you wanted to use a different weight.
And then finally we've got Talisman.
Talisman.
Which is sort of the classic, I think it's the most popular one out of these 6. It's a crescent.
Yeah, and it comes in 3 different sizes.
Yeah, the small, medium, and large.
Yep. She also has a make your own bundle feature on Ravelry, so if you only like a few of these, you might be able to combine it with some of her other stuff and make your own bundle as well. Although the book is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh. Some people beaded. Love beading.
Yeah.
I need to get back at 1100. So you can see a lot of different projects.
And she does talk about, I was reading in the book, she talks about for the first 10 rows or so to use a smaller needle so that you don't get quite this little lip here at the top.
Oh,
and then go to a larger one. It makes it a little flatter there. So that's a cool tip. I hadn't seen that before.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. That's
Aww, pretty. That's a great picture.
Yeah. So, sorry, sheep. Yeah,
Aww,
it's great.
That's pretty too.
And it's got a cool little star stitch embedded in the fabric of the shawl, so that's really cool. So we'll talk a little bit about the oh goodness, sorry.
Oh, that's us again. Let me fix my face.
No, I was going to show the book itself, the percentage system, and how that's
I think that's
set up.
A great one.
Of course, I have to actually click the thing.
What?
I know. It's craziness. What? Let's add the window. Book. Book. Okay.
Book.
Alright, let's edit this and make it bigger.
Yeah, so that's what the cover of the book looks like.
We're going to move that so it covers both of us. Alright, and I'm going
But not my jazz hands. Only one of my jazz hands.
So we're only looking at a single page. at once. Oh, this is an arc, so that's what.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're just gonna make this not that big. All right. Well, we're just gonna make this work. So we're not going to give away too much of this, but like as an example,
this is the percentage
This is the percentage system. So as you go through, you can say, okay, row 1, done, check mark.
I love that.
Done, check mark.
And she does this with all her patterns.
Right. So it really gives you the ability to, oh, good gracious, to know where you are in the pattern. And I wanted to show a little bit about the gradient that we talked about for the Aurora shawl and how she has that laid out. Here, I think it maybe is the next.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
So she talks a little bit about how you can work on combining the colors, which is helpful.
Yep.
And then all of her abbreviations are in one place at the end.
Yep.
She has a page about adding beads, about blocking, and she highlights each of the yarn companies and talks a little bit about them. So that's always helpful, and I'm sure that the dyers appreciate that. So
for sure.
That's Shawl Society, the first one, the collection as a book. Like Laura says, you can get it for, it's about £15 British sterling right now, which is about $20 US, or you can buy the patterns individually for.
And she does buy 4 get 1 free.
Yeah.
So if you decide that you want to combine that, she also has 2 other shawl societies. But the book is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
very
pretty. Nice, pretty, all in one place type thing.
I'm just messing our show notes up here.
I'm just staring at you like, what are you doing?
Let's see. All right, so our own stuff, what we're reading and listening to. I haven't had a ton of time this week, again, on call. I'm still listening to the Throne of Glass series, but I think I've listened to 20 minutes of it this week. It's too serious. And when I'm on call, I usually sleep in the living room on the sofa because my husband snores very loud. And I have to be able to hear the on-call phone, so I can't sleep with earplugs in, which I usually do. So I usually pick like a dumb, silly book that I've listened to before, and I'll just fall asleep listening to it because there are other noises in my living room, like the noise of the fish tank, which is louder than ever now because of some kind of broken intake something that Michael has ordered a part for that will be here tomorrow. It's louder than ever. So,
in case you needed to know, it's loud.
And I already had this, like, I talked a little bit about before, but I have this, it's called misophonia, but basically it's like certain noises trigger this, like, homicidal impulse in me, and I have to, like, take a step back and count and breathe and, like,
people eating cereal.
Oh my God.
Ask me how I know that.
The other day, usually Kobe and I will sit on the couch and, watch TV while we're eating dinner because, American family. But the other day he was eating hot wings and I looked at him and I was like,
go away.
I love you, but if you don't move to the other sofa, there's going to be problems. Of course he's just like, he knows I'm crazy by now. Sometimes he'll intentionally see how long he can make a noise before I say something. He'll tap out a rhythm with his feet and look at me, do it again and look at me and wait until I'm like, I need you to stop. Anyway.
We all have our things. And kids are good at exploiting those things. For sure.
So I was listening to the Lazy Witches series, the Slouch Witch series.
The Helen Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's not too deep and thoughtful, so I could listen to that. And I kind of on and off read a sort of humorous sci-fi, the first book in the series, and it's The Date Night on Union Station.
Huh.
It was okay. I mean, it didn't blow my socks off or anything, but it was interesting.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I did want to go back to the Helen Stewart book and say that was provided for us for review.
Yes.
Because we totally skipped
it was an advanced reader copy,
yeah.
So it was provided in exchange for a review.
So I've been still listening to Magic Strikes, which is the third Kate Daniels book. I've listened probably 30 minutes this whole week.
Yeah.
I was reading the season of Six Malone, but when I got sick, my library loan expired on it, and now it's got a long wait period. I had ordered a copy from my library, but one of my coworkers, I was book talking it while her class was in it, so she took that, which I'm totally fine with. Right. So, like, but now I'm in this, like, I'm halfway through it, but I won't know how it ends until my copy comes back, because I'm not buying a second copy, just because I'm not made of money.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. And then I did read a book that Becca and I are considering for a book club called All Summer Long. It's a graphic novel by Hope Larson. I really, really liked it. She's the woman who did the graphic novel version of Wrinkle in Time. And it's really, really well done. It only uses 3 colors. And one of my kids was, when I was book talking it, was like, well, it uses like a yellow, orange, black, and white, and he was like, well, I think she does that because it's summertime, and those are summer colors, which just blew my mind. Kids are so smart. Didn't even think about it like that. It's about a girl between her 7th grade to 8th grade year, and her and this boy have always been best friends. There's a story of they were pretending to be cats in a sand pit when they were 3 and pooped in the sandbox because they were cats. So they've always been together, and he's going away to soccer camp, and it kind of throws their whole friendship into a tizzy, but also, like, she has to really explore who she is as a person, not just as part of this friendship. Right. And she does not want to be romantically involved with him at all, and he actually makes a girlfriend while he's away at soccer camp. So that whole dynamic kind of changes as you grow. Yeah. Friendships change.
It's easy to forget that, but yeah, when you're in the, I would say anywhere from 6th grade up to like your mid-20s, like constantly things are changing about who you think you are and
who your friends think you are, and you know, but also dynamics of friendships change. Like, we've been friends, this is what we were looking for over 11 years now, and our dynamics, I feel like, have stayed fairly constant, but have changed.
I used to care what my house looked like when Laura came over. Not so much anymore.
But the things we do have changed over time, too. Like, we used to go out, I would say, a lot more than we do now. We're more home buddies now.
Laura made a comment once, it was years ago, and I don't know if you even remember making this comment, but it was like, you were fine being around me and being silent. Like, you didn't feel the need to fill the silence.
Yeah.
Which is a compliment, I think, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one of the questions in our question thread was, like, how have you stayed friends for so long? we don't feel a need to fill space with discussions, and I try to be considerate. I'm getting better at not like, one thing that I do that drives Leslie crazy is I talk over TV shows.
Yeah.
And so, like, I try to make sure to pause when I have something that I have to say, because I'm someone who, like, the second I think of something, I have to share it. Like,
and it's not that, it's not because people are talking over a TV show that bothers me.
It's so much noise.
It's that I'm trying to listen to both things. My brain can't choose one over the other.
Yeah, it's a processing
But
thing.
Yeah, I mean, Laura does things that, or I do things that Laura probably finds annoying. We choose what to let.
Well, it's like picking your battles.
Yeah, I mean.
But also, like, being able to just sit someone and not fill silences is, I think, important.
Yeah.
And, like, it helps that you're an awesome human being.
I try to be a decent human being, at least.
That helps, too. Like, being considerate of other people is always a good skill to work towards.
So what was that name of that book again?
Oh, I'm sorry. All Summer Long.
Okay.
It's by Hope Larson. It's a graphic novel. I really enjoyed it. I read it in one afternoon at work.
Cool.
On Monday.
I'll have to check it out.
So I enjoyed it. And my kids, so I book talked it on Monday on Tuesday before I totally lost my voice by the end of the day, which is why we didn't record. But one of my classes is doing their own book talks. So I have a sheet that I found on the internet called Book Talk Hooks A to Z. And so as I was book talking, I made sure to include, like, start with a question and, like, how many of you like graphic novels? Then I showed them a page and I was like, so this is a graphic novel and it uses 3 colors to tell the story. And so that's another hook. And just I included like 4 or 5, and then we read over the hooks first. And then when I was done, okay, what did I utilize? So you can use more than one of these in a book talk to make it effective, or you can just use one.
I think it's great that they want to do their own book talks.
Yeah, well, they're doing it for test grade, so it's not that they have a choice, but
still,
it's good for them. It's good to converse and talk and write about what you're reading as well.
Plus, it gives them a chance to be passionate about something they really like.
Yeah, hopefully.
So.
Yeah, and my teacher in that class doesn't like mandate what type of book they have to talk about. If they want to talk about Geronimo Stilton, they can. If they want to talk about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, they can. If they want to talk about The Hate You Give, they can. So there's not like...
It's great.
That kind of, it's a good environment for book talking as well. Not every environment's like that.
That's
true. So that's good too. And we also have a discussion about like not judging what people are reading, because we all enjoy different things, and sometimes we reread. So obviously Leslie and I are big rereaders as well. We have a craft along video that's coming on the 20th. Is that Saturday or Sunday? That's Sunday. We might have snow, so we're gonna see how that goes. Your husband was saying yes on snow. I follow Leslie's husband on Twitter.
I don't.
She does not.
I don't care.
And it cracks me up.
Because if I need to know about the weather, I'll look over at him and say, what's the weather going to be like? And then half an hour later, when he's finished, then I'll get the gist of what it's supposed to be. He posts
weather updates and air traffic control stuff, mainly. And so he thought, as of 2 days ago, that we would be getting like an inch. And, which is like nothing in the rest of the country, but in Mississippi we don't treat our roads.
There's no infrastructure for it.
Yeah, they don't have plows, they don't have salt trucks. They do spray liquid salt over overpasses, but that's about it. So, and while I feel comfortable driving in snow, there are other people who are driving who do not feel comfortable driving in snow, and
who have rarely, if ever, driven in snow.
Yeah, because we might get one snow day a year. So we might get some snow, and if that happens, we might have to postpone. But like always with our Patreon people, we'll send you updates. But as of right now, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and that'll be dog cookies?
Yes, at Leslie's house.
At my house, in the kitchen.
So Leslie's going to clean her kitchen.
Michael's going to clean kitchen.
Yay, Michael!
Because we're getting a new faucet in the kitchen because something's wrong with ours, and Michael's taking it apart and he can't figure out what it is. It's only like doing half power for the water, so it's like not strong enough to... Anyway, he's going to take it apart and fix it and sell it, but... So we're getting a new one that like you touch it and it'll...
Oh wow, that's very fancy.
Come on. But he got it today, so he's installing it tomorrow. He said he'll clean the kitchen.
We're talking about going to IKEA tomorrow morning, too.
We could do that.
So, because I have a $25 off coupon.
So fancy.
I know.
But yeah, so that'll be Sunday at 5 p.m. That's what the majority vote shows.
Okay.
And Crowdcast has a time limit on their... that's who we use to do the live stream. So, just depending on how long it'll take, it will be no more than 2 hours, more likely to be around an hour. It just depends on the cookies and how long it'll take to make. So.
We also need to figure out a time for our virtual knit night.
Most people voted and said that they would like it on like a recurring day of the month, like the second Tuesday or the last Saturday or something like that, but just change the time.
Okay.
So that's something Laura and I will talk about that this weekend.
Yeah, if we do it on a weekend day, we can have more flexibility when it comes to time.
Yeah, because we both have regular full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So Madrona, we talked about that. We'll be going mid-February up to Washington. We talked about that
in the past. We hope to see some people there. We're not doing a meetup, but if you see us, please stop us and say hey.
Don't be a stalker. Come say hi.
Yes, that's for sure. Rule. And we do have some swag to give away as well, and I'm going to put it in my carry-on so it doesn't get lost if my luggage gets lost. So I'm sure TSA is going to wonder why I have all these tape measures, but we're going to make it work.
How many things does this woman have to measure?
All the things. All the things. The striped sock knit along is done, but I am going to work on that last prize, and we'll draw for that next week. You'll get some hand spun, someone. We need to, don't forget about the Another Crafty Girl.
You don't forget about the Another Crafty Girl.
Okay. I won't. I totally am going to.
It's okay. Oh my god! We forgot to talk about something.
So our good friend, Sarah of Another Crafty Girl, we're both members of her yarn club, so we're putting this in the middle somewhere.
Because we forgot we were getting ready to leave.
And watch Drag Race, and we totally forgot. So we bought an extra skein of her yarn, her club yarn, for this past month, because we wanted you to share her awesomeness with you. So this is Another Crafty Girl.
And it's based on, like, your favorite toys from the 80s?
Yes, or any time. Not just for us, our childhood is the 80s. For other people, it could be 2006. Who knows? Amy Florence, it's like now. We love you, Amy Florence. So, having fun of how young she is to her all the time. Another Crafty Girl is doing toys like
Strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, so this is her strawberry shortcake based one. I already wound mine because I'm going to cast on. But we have one for you guys too. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give that away on Ravelry. It's the Kid at Heart Yarn Club, and she's actually doing sign-ups for next month.
Yeah, because you sign up every month if you want to continue.
We got the worsted weight because we're not fools. We like to use stuff quickly.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be a hat for me. Yeah, and we have a lot of sock weight. And her sock weight's fabulous. She does sock, she does the worsted weight, and she also does a sport weight. So if you're into sport weight socks,
we're trying to talk her back into bulky, too.
Yes. I love her bulky base. It's the best, y'all. Anyway, we're going to... To enter... You're going to post in the Ravelry group. There's going to be a thread for the Kid at Heart Yarn Club.
A giveaway.
Giveaway for the strawberry shortcake colorway in worsted weight, because we bought an extra one. And we wanted to pass that along to you guys. And so you can totally just put your favorite toy from your childhood.
Include a picture if you can. Because we may not know, and you can Google search for a
picture. But also be aware that some things that are from our childhood are no longer appropriate in today's society as well. This
is true.
So just be aware of that too.
Yeah.
Something that people could do a yarn club out of. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to have that thread in Ravelry.
And we'll draw
a random number winner.
Yeah, next time we record.
Yeah, but her sign-ups for her next month are going on until January 20th, I believe.
But if you miss out in next month, you can sign up for the one after. So
totally. We love Punky. She's our favorite, and she's a good friend. So we're totally biased.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We're going to go back to the regular show now. Bye! All right. And then...
our last point that we wanted to talk about, and we're only going to talk about it briefly, because the point is not for us to discuss it. The point is to give voice to people that need it. So there has been a very large discussion over the past week and a half. It started sort of on Instagram, and Casey of Ravelry has been kind enough to have a platform where people can have this conversation.
Yep.
And the link in our show notes will take you directly to that thread.
On Ravelry.
And in that thread on Ravelry, Casey and other people have posted links to the original, like what started this and all this. But
the original posters, too, to give credit where credit is due, because people are taking the time to educate others, and they need
So what are they educating people about?
Yes.
The whole conversation is about people of color, indigenous people, black people, and the inherent racism in society. They talk about white privilege, white fragility, all sorts of really...
representation.
Yes. All sorts of really important topics and how they relate to the knitting community.
Yes.
It was very eye-opening reading through some of those things.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get into a huge discussion right now because I'm already tearing up thinking about it. But it's not about us. It's not about Lauren. It's not about me.
Absolutely not.
So we just wanted to, if you haven't already... heard about it, then we encourage you to click on the link that's in the show notes, and I'll actually put it in the Ravelry thread as well, and just go out there and read about the experiences that people have had, and do what you can to support people that need this voice.
Yes.
You know, whether it's buying the patterns or buying them a cup of coffee on Ko-fi, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, I bought some people some coffee the other day because they were taking time out of their day to educate me, and so I feel like that deserves some financial.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I thought myself very educated. I'm not nearly as educated as I thought I was. So, you know, Laura and I are both taking time to try to understand better and do better. So,
yes.
Again, it's not about us. So go take a look at the thread on Ravelry. It's a great place to start.
Yep.
And I think that's it.
It is, I believe. We do have some new vendors for SSK. Some people sent back their contracts. I'm going to put in those into the knit along threads on Ravelry. That's one of my goals for this weekend because we want you to be able to support all our vendors.
Yep.
And I think that's about it. We will see y'all in just a few days, especially if you're on Patreon. And thank you guys for... I did an Instagram live not this past Monday, but the Monday before. One of the ways that you can show support that has nothing to do with finances is to...
just share.
Signal boost. Yeah, just share that you're watching the podcast or where you're getting information from or anything like that.
Even if it's not, I mean, especially if it's not us. Like, you want to share things that you love, no matter what those things are, or that educate you. So, and you can do that by sharing them on social media or
and it's a great free way to support your favorite creators. Or educators or whoever. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. That's it for us.
Yep.
We'll see you soon.
A lovely week, and we'll see you again in a little bit.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.